So I'm trying not to let them do that. Yes?
At the beginning you had mentioned that you didn't know how to teach this because you had never thought about how you would. Would you, like in your life, have you ever thought about being a teacher?
I'd rather teach English than teach writing, because I really deep down, as may be clear now, don't know how to teach writing. But I would love to teach English, yeah, but you got to get a degree. It's just a pain, and I'm lazy. That's really the reason. You have to get a special, different degree, and I'm very, very lazy. Like, deep down, lazy. And I would only want to teach classes that I want to teach, and teach books I want to teach, because I'm lazy and opinionated, you know? So I don't want to teach that because it's stupid, or I don't want to teach that because it's no good for teenagers, and a lot of the stuff that you got to teach I don't really like. Like, I don't like Lord of the Flies. Yeah. Well, we can have a fight about that later if you want. That and James Patterson. I do like James Patterson and don't like Lord of the Flies. I like Lord of the Flies more than I like James Patterson objectively, but I think Lord of the Flies is a crap book. Other questions? Yes?
What motivates you to write the kinds of thoughtful things you do for teenagers as opposed to adults?
I don't really care about adults. As an audience. Like, I have adult friends, and like my real world relationships are with adults, but I don't know, even now when I read books, I still read a lot of books, and most of the books that I read are for adults, and I like them. I like reading. I get a lot out of reading, I guess. I just don't feel like the things that I'm good at as a writer are things that I could really bring to a primarily adult audience. That said, if adults didn't buy my books, I wouldn't have a job. So I'm very grateful to my adult readers, and I like the fact that they like my books and that they think that I wrote the book for them. That's fine. But yeah, teenagers are at this point in their lives where they are forming their values, really, and then a lot of things are happening for the first time. Big, important, lasting things. And to have a seat at the table in that process means a lot to me. To have even the smallest voice in your life as you're grappling with questions that are still interesting to me is really important to me. The other thing I like is that I don't have to couch those explorations of those questions that interest me behind 75,000 layers of irony in an attempt to make my novel palatable to critics of literary fiction. I get to talk about the stuff that interests me in the way that I want to talk about it, you know? So I'm interested in the question of why suffering is unfairly distributed in the world, right? Like, why is it that some people suffer more than other people, and that the relationship between how much suffering you have in your life has nothing to do with whether or not you're a good person? Why is it that the suffering is so randomly and unfairly distributed? That's a very interesting question. Now, you can talk about that, like Couch Behind 75 Layers of Irony, as a book like Infinite Jest does, and it's a very good book, much better than anything I'll ever write, and I love it. I just don't want to write it. Maybe 2 more questions. How much time do we have? We have 4 minutes. Yes?
What's the biggest challenge between writing paper comes with a book versus a screenplay?
Well, the biggest challenge is that I hate writing screenplays, whereas I like writing books. Well, when you're writing a book you're writing the thing. When you're writing a screenplay, you're not writing the thing. You're writing a set of suggestions to the people who will make the thing. I like writing the thing, you know? I like that there is not a lot between you and me in that conversation, you know? I've always thought that reading a book is a conversation, this opportunity to spend some time with someone who's really smart and thoughtful, and I like, whether I'm reading or writing, I like that conversation to be as direct as possible, which is also one of the reasons that I don't often like movies. And movies have very specific structures that, I just find it incredibly oppressive. That said, I love money, and as long as there is work like that I can get, I will take it, because otherwise, I got this little kid and all that.